Hello and welcome to ShameOver, where you can lose the hangover, not the booze. I'm your host, Erica Mallery, and this is a podcast for those interested in moderation and drinking less, and who want to find peace and balance in their consumption. I am on this journey with you, and I am proof that you can drink less without going cold turkey or all out sober. If this sounds good to you, let's get started. Hello, welcome back to the ShameOver Podcast. I am Erica Mallery, and this is part 2 of my conversation with Shauna, the Mystic Herbal Doula. If you have not listened to part 1 yet, I highly recommend starting there. But in today's episode, we are moving beyond the physical side of postpartum and into the part that often gets overlooked: our nervous system, our emotional worlds, and the pressure so many of us put on ourselves to get back to who we were before. We are going to talk about why the all or nothing thinking keeps us stuck all the time, how to let go when you are a control-loving, deeply feeling woman like me, and also we'll be giving you simple tools that you can actually use. We're talking like journaling, body scans, just tiny habit shifts that don't overwhelm you or your nervous system. We also dive into the importance of community. I cannot say this enough, ladies. Building a village, making mom friends as an adult. I understand how complicated and challenging it can be. We're also getting into setting boundaries and still saying yes when connecting is what we really need most. This episode is so grounding and empowering and really full of practical takeaways so you can start using them today. So with that, let's jump right back in.
Stabilizing your blood sugar is insanely important. If you're waking up, and you don't even need to be pregnant, like just in general, you wake up in the morning, please do not have your coffee. I know I drink coffee in the morning, but it's really important that you wait at least an hour, if not more. And you let your natural cortisol in your body, because we produce this naturally. It's part of our natural circadian rhythm. Let that rise, then go have your coffee. Maybe decrease the amount of trash that you put in your coffee too, like less sugar. Then have your coffee and you're less likely to crash later in the day. And I know when I was, early postpartum, it's very tiring. And so it is easy to I need caffeine, I need coffee. It's 6 o'clock in the morning. I need to wake up. Nope. Go chill for a second, drink, chug some water.
Drink water for sure as soon as you wake up. But yeah.
Then go have your coffee. And I know it's hard. Trust me. I made this flip, I think when I was pregnant, because I was I want to drink less coffee. And it takes some time. It takes some practice, but the long-term results, it'll become a new habit for you, and then you'll feel better.
I would definitely say one of the hardest habits I've ever had to break, even more than drinking, was changing my coffee to not as soon as I woke up, because it is something that I look forward to. I love the smell. I love the moment, but fine. I have this huge thing of water next to my bed. As soon as I wake up, I chug at least 8 ounces, and that's a non-negotiable for me. But what I started doing is when I am still, I still have moments where I wake up and really crave my coffee or my tea. To help me get to that hour, I'll just do a hot water with lemon, or very weird, but I love emergency hot. It's one of my favorite things. So I do that, just kind of, just having some sort of hot beverage. So what I would recommend is, if that is part of your ritual, still do it, because you don't want your nervous system to be so jacked because you're taking away from you time in the morning. Especially us as moms know how limited it is that we actually take time for ourselves. So if that is a big part of it, still do something for yourself. But any hot beverage, especially one that is not all junk, like you said, related, a hot water with lemon, hot emergency, a hot herbal tea, just push the caffeine for at least that 1 hour. And I was shocked what a difference it made, like you said, with the plunges. I didn't get that drastic drop midday or even in the afternoon.
Yes. And I think we all deal with that because we jack ourselves up in caffeine. And then by 2, 3 o'clock, we're like, oh my God, I'm dying. And then you need more caffeine.
Yeah, exactly.
Vicious cycle. I'm not bashing caffeine. There are many, many studies that actually show benefits of caffeine, especially when it comes to supporting dementia and Alzheimer's, but there's like limited amounts. It's not like here's 6 cups of coffee throughout the day. So it's actually black coffee that has some really good outcomes, health outcomes.
Awesome.
And so when you're loading your coffee up with a bunch of creamer, not
Yeah.
sorry, not good for you.
A side of coffee is more what it's like.
Right.
Yeah.
But I love that you said, don't change the ritual because that is also, like we crave these moments, these pockets where we can take care of ourselves and have that just that little bit of quietness, a little bit of peace, a little bit of self-care.
Yeah.
And so keep it, keep doing that, but like just make those subtle changes. And, just to like give you a little more tip if you're like, okay, I want to do this, but this seems hard is
Mhm.
okay. So we're both saying, wait an hour. If that's too hard for you, start slow. Maybe you wait 15 minutes and then you increase it to like 30 and then 40 and then an hour. Like we got to get out of this all or nothing mindset, which
Yes. Literally what my entire business is. Ditch the all or nothing, black or white mentality.
yes. And I don't know why we do this to ourselves. We are so black and white thinking sometimes when life is not black and white.
Oh,
Not black and white. We are not black and white. So why do we function this way? And I
yeah,
have
exactly.
experienced it myself. And I think, this podcast is getting recorded in January. So just with like New Year's resolutions as well, it's like stop with the black, like all or nothing thing. Like, create a goal and like gradually get to the goal so you can actually sustain the goal and the results versus like,
Exactly.
oh, I'm gonna eat well or work out every day or whatever, and then you fail within 1 week because you actually shocked your nervous system and your nervous system was like, we can't do this. And then you just get
Uh-huh. Yeah. Yeah. I don't even get me started on that. I think my last 2 podcasts were about my disdain for New Year's resolutions and dry January specifically, just because it is everyone setting themselves up for failure ultimately, because it's focused on such big drastic change typically in way too small of a time with no plan, with no, nothing to help really get you there. And then at the end, it's like, okay, well, what's next? So I mean, I think it's 80 to 90% of resolutions fail typically by February. So that's a huge thing in its own. So, it's like, if you're going to do this, do it right, set yourself up for success. And that is by making small, tiny micro changes. Those are going to get you so much farther than the huge, big change that you're not going to be doing come, a month or a year from now.
totally. And I think we can apply this to postpartum because when you think about it, you went this massive change, this massive transition, and you're really trying to find yourself again. And that is going to take some time. And so stop thinking all or nothing. Like stop thinking like, oh my God, I'm 4 months postpartum. I can't fit in my postpartum jeans. That's an all or nothing thinking.
Yeah.
Stop thinking, oh my gosh, I don't have any autonomy anymore. Like I definitely was there. I like had a breakdown. It's like,
Oh, yeah.
pee by myself. It's okay. Like, give yourself grace. Like, stop with the all or nothing because you will. Eventually, I promise, mama, like, you'll get there. You will find yourself again. You will be able to go pee without, well, maybe not, like, until your child's like 10 or 11. You'll get that piece back. And it's about making these small adjustments. When you feel like you're ready to, there's no timeline for this either. Like, stop putting together these self imposed expectations. That is the one thing I emphasize too is like throw your expectations out the window when it comes to pregnancy, when it comes to
Yes.
birth, when it comes to postpartum, because again, 1 or 10 babies, 3 babies, it doesn't matter. Every
Yeah.
journey is different. And when we throw up these high expectations, we're setting ourselves up to fail. You should have
Yeah.
very little expectations when it comes to postpartum. I would say really focus, as we said, around nutrition, focus on how do you want to feel and focus on your village. And if you can get those, again, 3 things in line, you'll feel good.
Yes, and I wanna jump more into that, but one thing I wanna push back on in a very loving way is don't try to find yourself again, find who you are now. Because I feel like a lot of times, finding ourselves again, 'cause we get so wrapped up in that it's like, well, this is who I used to be and this is what I used to do, and we're not that person anymore. Once we become a mom, that's very different, but once we become a mom of from 1 to 2 and then 2 to 3, and each time we're in a new chapter of life. So don't look backward. If there's things that you're missing from that, how can you incorporate that into your now? I think is kind of a big thing for us to remember. That takes a lot of the pressure off too. It's kind of like, I'm not into my jeans yet. Good. That's who you were back then. You're not that person right now. This is who you are now. Who do you want to be now? Who do you want to be moving forward?
Yes, and I love that you mentioned that because I talk to this all the time. That maiden to mother transition, it's gonna rock your world in a good way. It's gonna be a little bit of a roller coaster, but it's gonna rock your world. And I love that you said that's not you anymore. And that's
Mm.
correct. You are a different person. There are different, yes, there's going to be some characteristics that carry over, but you're going to think a little different. Your mindset's going to be a little different. Your body is going to be different. There is no more pre-baby, first of all, just throw that.
Exactly. Yeah. Pre-baby is not you anymore.
That was you before your baby, right? Like you have
Yeah.
had a baby, your body has changed. And I know, and I'll be real, it can be a little rough. It can
Mhm.
feel a little different. And that's why it's really important that you're surrounding yourself with really positive things. Again, get off social media. I don't think that's going to help you at all. Get into some good support groups if that is the social media you choose to expose yourself to,
Sure.
and read some good books or listen to some good podcasts because it really is like get off the news, like get off these things that are going to bring your mood down and focus on things that are going to
Mhm.
bring your mood up. So if you're not in
Yes.
a place energetically where you're like, oh, I love my body, because let's be real, it's going to take a little bit of time to get used
Yeah.
to your new body, and that's okay. You're not.
Well, and that's you might not ever, like, accept your body. So it's, again, back to, like, where you are now, like, accept where your body is in this moment, because our
Ooh,
body after we have kids, our body changes. Like, the body I had back then and the body I have now are very different, even with weight loss and weight gain and weight loss again, and they're very different, but I mean, once you create a child, your hips are different, your everything is different. So understand, you're not gonna have the same body you did as a teenager or in your 20s. That was long before so many things. So
oh
that
my
is,
gosh.
women, just get rid of that, and it's okay if your body never looks like that. It wasn't intended to look like a teenager's body. So
Oh,
there you go.
yeah.
Soapbox done. Go.
No, I think it's a good one because I definitely I'm 18, roughly 18 months postpartum, and I still have not lost, and I'll say it. I am not at my pre-baby, which, we're gonna throw that term out the window. Pre-baby. It may never be. And I've kind of sunk into that. What I'm focusing on though is, and it's funny, you said the hips. I was a little shocked when I finally looked in the mirror and I was like, oh, dang, those hips got wide, but in a good way, because if you think about it, so if your hips get wide, which is very common, you got to think about what does your body do? Your body carried a baby for 40 weeks. Your body grew this a miracle from what? These tiny little baby atoms and cells, and then they
Mhm.
multiplied and they created a human. You made a human. Then you birthed a human. Then you fed a human. Our bodies are these amazing, amazing, amazing magical beings. And when we start focusing on that, we can recognize the power that we have because your hips got wide because you pushed a baby out.
Well, and I guarantee the weight is gonna come off when you start accepting your body, because when you're fighting it, you cannot shame yourself into skinny. It's not gonna stay. Like, you have to accept your body and appreciate everything that it's done, and then that's when it's like, "Oh, I am loved. Okay, I'll give you what you want," but
Oh,
it starts with that acceptance piece.
yes, and that's one of the modalities that I support women with is through clinical hypnotherapy because really we gotta change our subconscious mind. So if you're in the
Mhm.
mindset of I hate my body or oh my gosh, my body is so different or I'm not at my pre-baby weight, we gotta change it. We gotta change it from a subconscious level because ultimately our our subconscious level is running the show 98% of the time. Often we're not even aware of these thoughts. And so what hypnotherapy is, and there's two hypnotherapies. I want to kind of break the stereotypes. There definitely is the show hypnotherapy. And I have been there and my friend actually got hypnotized on stage and it was the coolest thing. She doesn't remember any of it. That's not what I do. What clinical hypnotherapy is, it's more of, if you think about meditation, you can do, just your own meditation, you can do guided meditation. Hypnotherapy is basically a guided meditation with a goal. And the goal is to get you to start rewiring your subconscious beliefs. And so I do custom hypnotherapies during pregnancy and then postpartum. Postpartum is really geared toward loving your body, loving your power, loving your new you, loving this version, this season of yourself because you are in a different phase. You are in motherhood. You are in a different body now. Your body might be different 6 months from now. Your body might be different in 12 months from now. And that's okay. Those are all different phases. And so we've got to get into the energetics piece of I love myself now. I love who I am.
Mhm.
And as you said, once you're there, once you release some of these emotions, and you can do that many ways. You can do it through meditation, hypnotherapy, you can do it through energy releases, releases, you can do it through Reiki, you can do it through tapping. There's a lot of tools to support you, but we gotta let go. We gotta get rid of this stuck energy because that energy is hurting you. And if you think about, so energy is everywhere. It's like our lives, our bodies, we're all made of energy. And if you think I'll give myself an example. So I had a really traumatic birth experience and I did some healing. I thought I kind of got it all out. And I just did a body code session with a woman that I met. Do you know Stacy? So I was so stoked because body code is amazing. It's all about releasing
Yes.
emotions. She, did it and I was very in tune when she was doing it. She didn't even tell me she had started it. And I was like, oh, like something's going on here. And then she was like, "All right, here are all the emotions I released." And I was like, "Woo! Like you hit the nail on the head." Like it was really cool. And that was very recently. So I'm like, just kind of like still trying to like process out that because what body code, emotion code is all about like literally releasing and then you're done. Like we're not addressing it again. We're not ruminating, like gone, done, like let's move on.
Yes.
And so when you're able to release these stuck emotions, like you've got new energy in your body. You've got a new flow, new frequency and vibration, and you're able to, like you said, maybe lose that weight that you've been trying to get off that hasn't moved. Or maybe you feel better. Maybe you're a little more joyous. Maybe you want to connect more. Or maybe you're just happier. You're in a better mood. You're at peace. And those are all really crucial things to just have a really good life because that's what we want. We want to feel good.
So what do you recommend? Because I have so many people that, I mean, almost everyone that I work with, like just as humans, we're all kind of control freaks, but I feel like some of the women who I work with are kind of a little bit more because we're very I attract a lot of deeply feeling, highly sensitive people. And, a lot of that is like we drink for a sense of control, even though it's doing the complete opposite. But one of the biggest things that we all need to learn is how to let go. So where do you even start?
Ooh, what a great question. So I think a really, really simple way, you're not paying anybody, it's free, it doesn't take a lot of time,
Yeah.
anybody can do this, is journaling. So there's some science related to journaling. Anytime you write something down, like physically, not on your phone, like we're not doing this on our phone. You're gonna get a
Yeah.
pen, a pencil, and you're gonna write it down. When we're writing something down, there's a different connection that happens. And if you have a goal, you're actually like, I think it's like 60 to 70% more likely to achieve a goal if it's written down. And so our goal here is to release, is to let go. And so start with just a quick brain dump. Like just write everything out. I don't want you to think about it. I just want you to like get the pen to the paper and like let it flow. And do that for about 10, I would say minutes. And that right there can be just like so releasing. Another practice I like to do is like, let's just say you actually have come up with a goal. Like I want to feel better. I want to let go. I want to release. I hate feeling like this. Write that all down. And then we can do a little fun ritual at the beginning of the new year or whenever. It doesn't matter. If you're listening to this in June, you can still do it. But you're going to write all those things down. And then you can either bury it and maybe like plant a flower over it or plant something like to bring a new energy, or you can burn it, like let it go, like physically like burn it. But make sure it's a safe.
Ripping it up. I know that that can be, especially if it's negative emotions, rage, anything like that. Like sometimes the ripping it up and burning it is what I would recommend.
Yeah, that's pretty accessible for anybody. Now, if you
Yeah.
want to get a little deeper, I love to do mindful meditation work and like chakra work because most people are familiar with the 7 major chakras, and usually you can go in and like feel within your body where you're feeling stagnation. So another good practice you can do, again, totally free by yourself, doesn't require anything, is just get still for a minute. I know this is hard for moms. So, like, get a little intentional with this. Is give yourself, I would say, maybe 10 to 15 minutes. And I want you to do a body scan. So, start with your feet and just go through, like, all the way, starting at your toes, all the way your head. And I want you to kind of see throughout your body, what are you feeling? Where are you feeling heaviness and tightness? And that's where we want to focus on releasing as well. And I do this all the time myself, is I'll do just like an inner chakra release where I'm like, okay, if I'm feeling tightness, let's just say maybe you're feeling tightness in your shoulders and neck. That's typically where a lot of women feel stress. Is like, okay, how can I release this? I'm gonna release it to my hands. I'm gonna release it to my head. I'm gonna release it to my heart. Like, where can we physically like visualize this stuck energy like going and flowing out through our bodies? And that's a good practice. Again, you can do by yourself if you feel empowered to, and it doesn't take a lot of time.
I love that. I am a big fan of Insight Timer. It's a free app. They do have paid, but I just use the free and it is incredible. But they have a ton that kind of got me into body scanning, mindfulness. I'm not one to be really good at meditation because, in our minds we have to sit there and just not do anything. And so even though that's not the case with meditation, but just the simple mindfulness approach to me feels less intimidating. So in case anyone else is feeling that way, Insight Timer was huge with that. But I am I'm guessing it's the whole month of January. I don't even know. I just said yes. but an intention setting challenge for essentially the new year. And I've been doing it every morning. They're typically like, I'd say 6 to 7 minutes. And I cannot believe the difference it's made throughout my day, starting it off that way. And I know that they always say, like, do the gratitude in the morning, which I'm pretty good at, but actually making the time to do that mindfulness or intention setting or meditation in the morning has been mind blowing, just how my mood has been throughout the day.
Yes, I love that you mentioned that. So I have used Insight Timer on and off for a long time because we used to free discount through my work. But anyways, I signed up for the paid version last week because I was like, let's just do it. It's like $9.99 a month. I'm like, let's just do it. Like I want to like start this year in like a different way. Like in order to change, you have to change. So you might need to do something different. And so I've been doing their morning, whatever I choose to pick, like meditation, whatever. And a lot of them are very short, 5 to 12 minutes. And I'll just be honest, I have not finished a complete one. I'll do about 8 minutes and then I'm like, all right, I got what I needed. Finish session, done.
There we go. Yeah.
And so again, we don't need to do this all or nothing thing. Like it's your life. Make up your own rules. Who cares? Like,
Exactly.
you don't need to sit there for 10 minutes if you don't have 10 minutes. Like 5 minutes is still impactful.
It is, yes. So I want to be respectful of time because I know that I've taken quite a bit of yours today. But so obviously we've talked nutrition. We know the importance there. We kind of touched a tiny bit on village and just the importance of that. I know that's why I have my Shame Over community, is because when you're going through whatever it is with others, it's easier to get to the other side. It's so much more fun. It's so much more enlightening and empowering and all of that, especially if you're in the right group that's good for you. But speak to me a little bit more about kind of if there's anything we missed out on with Village that you want to make sure we touch on.
Yeah, it's lonely. Let's be real. It's a little lonely to be a mom, especially in early postpartum. So, hopefully you're not leaving your house during those first 40 days as often as you can help it.
Oh, they probably are.
You are, sure, at least once or twice. What some ways you can cultivate a village because it is hard, especially if you're a new mom. And I definitely experienced this is like get on some apps. Like I was on Peanut. I have found many very cool women and friends via Peanut. So
Well, one
basically
of my best friends we met on Peanut, and her husband and mine joke like they met on the mom's dating app.
exactly. And you can find specialty groups in there. Maybe you're like, I'm gonna be 40, so like I'm not 20 years old. Like, don't get I have 20-year-old friends, but like I want to connect with women like, going through the same phases of life as me. So I'm in the like 30 plus mom group. I'm in the local Denver mom group. I'm in the spiritual mom group. So there's tons of different niches you can like plug yourself into. And oh my gosh, the early postpartum, that was so validating because you're going through this journey and you really think it's just like nobody else has experienced this. I promise you that's actually not true. And so even if you're not doing anything, I just went in there and read things half the time. And I was like, yes, like me too. Like, oh, I'm not alone. And then the other piece of this is like, go make a new friend. And I know that is so hard, but you've got to put together a village. And I would even start this before you have a baby. And I did that.
Way before.
Yeah, I was meeting women on Peanut, but when I was pregnant, and I loved it. I had a great time. I went on, you call them dates, like multiple dates, and that was helpful because now I've got women that I'm like we're friends, and like your kids are growing up, and like yes, not every person you meet is going to be your BFF, but that's okay. Like some women are in your life for different phases, and others are in your life for different reasons too, and like that's okay. Again, we don't need to have an all or nothing mindset. Like we want to just have connections, and this is why it's important to have a village. One, you want connection. Two, you want to feel like you're getting heard. You want to hear like, okay, I'm not the only one in this journey. And then three, like mom dates are kind of important.
Well, and you are physically, I mean, you just physically gave your body, your everything to this being, depending on, whether you're breastfeeding or not, you're potentially keeping this kid alive that much more. But it is so important to be seen by others because no matter how incredible your family is, there's so many times you don't feel seen at home or you don't feel appreciated or you don't feel, there's just the resentment can build. So being around people that it's like, I see you, I'm in this with you, that's outside of your household can be so crucial.
Yes, I went to a breastfeeding support group. I don't know. I think for the first like 8 to 10 weeks, and I did leave my house, but it was worth it. And oh my goodness, it was amazing to one have a lactation consultant running the group who was
Yeah.
able to help and answer questions like in the moment. And then two, like you just heard all these women in their journeys and like, oh my God, we're all going through the same thing. Like we're all going through the same thing. It's hard. We're tired. Like they're not latching. They latch on the right. They don't latch on the left. Like we're all doing it. And so again, just another avenue to like hear heard, feel validated. Like, and it wasn't long. Like, I think it was like 60 minutes, but it's just nice to like have that connection to know like, oh, like you get it. You get my journey too.
Well, and one thing, it's going to sound very contradictory because, like, especially early on, but regardless, like, kind of anywhere, making mom friends is hard. Like, where I am right now with two younger kids, not near as young as yours, but I have a 3-year old and a 6-year old, and making friends is really hard, especially if you work from home or, because a lot of times you meet friends through your kids, whatever. So what's going to sound contradictory is you have to set boundaries, you have to respect your energy and, do what feels good for you, but you have to say yes. I have a new friend that we've just gone like 0 to 60 really quick, just very, very recently. And it was all because I said yes multiple times when I didn't necessarily want to. It wasn't that I, I just, what I didn't necessarily feel like, "Ugh, I don't want to get dolled up. I don't want to do this. I don't want to do this." But I'm like, you don't have to. Like, it's game night. You don't have to get dressed up. You don't have, just show up. And because I said yes multiple times, now I have this great friend who I can just tell is going to be someone really special in my life, at least I hope. But you have to say yes sometimes, even if, you don't know anyone there. Say yes. Worst case scenario, you hate it. You never have to go back.
Yes. Oh my gosh. I love that you said that. That factor. And I, every single time, like, and this is still today, every
Mhm.
single time I do something that's really kind of outside of my comfort zone, initially,
Yeah.
I'm excited to plan it. I'm excited to organize it. I'm like, all right, let's do it. And then the day before, I'm like, oh, I don't want to go. Or the day, like an hour before, I don't want to go. And I still go. And
Yeah.
I said yes. I show up. I follow through with my word, and I don't really ever regret it. Like, I think even if I haven't had like a lifelong connection, I still enjoy going out of the house, getting in
Yes.
the air, meeting new people, and it's always a good experience.
Well, and I think that especially just as women, like we need to fill our emotional cup outside of our house. And that's why I'm saying like this can be so important to just be uncomfortable and say yes to that, invitation where you don't know anyone that's going to be there. If it's going to be around other women or other moms that have, like that's the only way that you're kind of going to fill that because I feel like sometimes we get so into the routine of, just being at home with the kids, with the partner, and there's so many balls up in the air. We're always the last one that we're going to take care of, even though we know we have to put our oxygen mask on first. We get that. We take like the quickest oxygen breath and then go to take care of everyone else. Like that is why saying yes and getting out and doing things without the kids, if at all possible, even if it's, 1 hour a month or something, getting that time for yourself is so crucial. And that to me, I don't care if it's, early on or how old you are. Like you have to take care of yourself. And that a lot of us, just for women, it is connecting with other women.
Totally. That's how like biologically, that's how our brains work.
Yeah.
As women, we are social creatures. We like to talk. That's how we usually process as we vent. Totally fine. We chat. We talk about the things. And if you think about, men are very different. Like they do. That's how they bond. They do things.
Totally.
We talk with like we like to socialize, we're social beings. And so when you're stuck at home, you're not leaving your house, maybe it's just you and your partner, maybe you don't have any family, maybe friends are not coming over, or you just don't want anybody over, which is totally fine too. You are, you're isolating yourself. And so even, once a month, once every 2 months, like commit to something and follow through because it's gonna be really, really good for your mental health.
Yes, it definitely will. Short and long term.
Yes, exactly.
Well, is there anything that we did not cover that you want to make sure that we get to?
No, we went over so many good things. It was such a great
Yay!
conversation.
Yes. Well, how can people find you, learn more about you, all the good stuff?
Yes, so I am on TikTok, Instagram, all under Mystic Herbal Doula. I will say my TikTok is not as great as my Instagram. I'm trying, but I can't quite get into it.
I just deleted TikTok shortly after trying it. I'm like, this is just not for me. So yeah, I get that.
And then I have my own podcast called the Align Your Glow and Soul podcast, which you will be on hopefully soon. And that is all things just like spirituality, manifesting, just anything to support you in like up leveling your energy, tips and tricks. I talk about feng shui a lot on there too. And so that's where I'm at, where you can find me. And then if you are expecting, I would love to support you either in birth or postpartum. I offer a couple different packages. I'm super accessible. Or if you're like, I just want to I kind of know, I'm confident, can we do meditation or hypnotherapy? I'm very, what's the right word? Customizable. So reach out if you need support with that. You can find me just on Instagram. My website's on there too. Super easy. And yeah.
Beautiful. And I'll make sure all of that is in the show notes so people can easily click and link directly to you. So
Perfect.
awesome. Well, thank you so much. I'm so grateful for your time and just your wealth of knowledge and everything you're doing for women to help us better care for ourselves at all stages, but especially in that most important, crucial, just after baby stage. So thank you. Thank you.
Thanks for having me.
All right. We'll see you all next time.
Oh, I just loved this conversation so much because it is such a powerful reminder that healing doesn't come from doing more or pushing harder, but it actually comes from slowing down and releasing what no longer serves you and allowing yourself to be supported. That can be the hardest part in all of this. Whether you are newly postpartum, years into motherhood like I am, or simply in a season where you're craving more peace and connection, the tools we talked about today and the previous episode apply far beyond the chapter that you're in right now. You can find Shauna on Instagram at Mystic Herbal Doula, so check out her podcast too, Align Your Glow and Soul, and all of her links are available in the show notes. And if this episode resonated with you, I would love for you to share it with another woman who needs to hear this reminder that she is not broken, she's not behind, and she also doesn't have to do this alone. All right, y'all, thank you so much for being here, and I'll see you next time. ShameOver is the mindful drinking program designed for women who desire to drink less without losing the booze completely. If you want to transform your relationship with alcohol and live a healthier, confident, and balanced life, go to shameover.me and get started today. You deserve it, you're worth it, your future self thanks you. Cheers!